Well, good morning. Welcome to Walking Boxing. It is Friday, August the 2nd, and another beautiful day here in the Macedon Ranges. Not as cold as it was yesterday, a little bit windy though, so apologies if there's a bit of that coming through the microphone. And a little bit fired up today, I've got to say. One is because the Mighty Blues are playing Collingwood tomorrow night at the MCG, and you can see there I've got the jacket on today. I'm flying the colours. Pendle's 400th game. All the best to him, but let's hope he has a good game and the Pies lose by about 6 goals. But anyway, that's tomorrow night at the MCG. So all the best to the Blue Baggers. Let's bring it home. And of course, the other reason is because of what most of the not just boxing world, but sporting world seem to be up in arms about at the moment, and that is the issue at the boxing at the Olympics with the 2 biological males fighting in the female divisions. And I don't know, to be honest, whether I'm more mad or sad. I felt sad for the young Italian boxer, and I'll just get her name up. I'll cover that first. Angela Carini from Italy, coming up against Algeria's Omain Khalif. Now, there's been a lot of discussion about this. I'll get to sort of both sides, but sometimes I've just got to be probably careful with my words to some extent. I'm certainly not going to sugarcoat it, because my views are my views, and you'll take it however you want, and you'll have your views, and that's fine. But a little bit of a trigger warning for starters. What do they call them? The snowflakes out there? A bit of a trigger warning for you, because you're probably not going to like a few things that I say. But in this day and age of all the agendas, and I know it's very political in the world at the moment, I get that, for a lot of different reasons, and we're not going to really get into the political side, but as far as the agendas go, well, sometimes you've got to be careful what you wish for. And in this instance, we've had the young Italian fighter. She got into the ring with what did I say she was? Algerian, I think she was. And was out of there in 46 seconds or something like that. She copped a big right hand to the nose. It apparently busted a nose. I don't know that for sure, but allegedly she busted a nose. She turned her back, walked to her corner, told her corner that was enough, or I'm not sure whether the actual corner decided it was enough, but the referee waved it off. And her body language afterwards was not good. Obviously she was shattered. Did not acknowledge her opponent after the win. I think she even shrugged off the referee. And I actually think, for me, I loved the action. Yeah, there's going to be some people that say, well, it's being a little bit of a bad sport, whatever. That's not bad sportsmanship. That's making a stand. That's saying, I'm pissed. I'm pissed off. This is a female athlete. I've said it in a few videos this week, that has sacrificed their life for this moment, done everything correctly, trained, sacrificed, dieted, you name it, and she did it like all the other boxers there, and she has to get in the ring and fight a biological man. Are you kidding me? And I know there's another one from Taiwan. I'm not quite sure they've had as much publicity as this one, but this, what was it? Hers, well, I don't even know what to call them these days, but Omain Khalif. If you look at this fighter, this person, big, strong, defined arms, the Adam's apple, all that sort of stuff. And again, I've got no issue with this. This is the other thing. I've no issue if you want to live your life that way. No issue whatsoever. You know, it's your life. If you want to live that way, happy days. Do what you got to do. But this should not be allowed. And she absolutely pummeled this young Italian fighter, who, again, I say, did everything right. Qualified, did everything they had to do, bravely climbed into the ring against this person, and then was pummeled for 46 seconds. So, one thing I will clarify though, this is not AIBA. Now, if you're not familiar with the AIBA, AIBA is the the International Amateur Boxing Association. They're the ones that govern it. They are not in control of the boxing at the Olympics. And this is a reason why there's been talk that the boxing will be thrown out of the Olympics. Because and take it from me, there's been a lot of corruption, a lot of dodgy stuff, and if you follow boxing and amateur boxing, you know what I'm talking about over the years. So many controversial incidents and allegations and all that sort of stuff. But in this Olympics, I'm pretty sure it was Tokyo as well, the IOC, so the Olympic Committee themselves, took over the running of the boxing and said to IEBA, thanks but no thanks, not required, we will do this ourselves. And the reason I say that, because it's pretty ironic, because it was actually the IEBA who actually failed these two boxers at the last World Championships, or it might have been the last two World Championships, I'm not quite sure, for failed tests. I won't pretend to be a scientist and tell you exactly what all those tests are, but at the end of the day, to cut a long story short, they failed the test as far as being females. They were found to be biological males and subsequently disqualified from fighting in those tournaments as females. So in their wisdom, the IOC have taken over the boxing and said, no, in the name of inclusion and all this sort of stuff these days, we're going to let you box because that's the right thing to do. These bigots over there, out there in the IEBA and in the sporting world, how dare they say that a woman can't fight against other women. Now, I know there's arguments about what exactly a woman, I think we all know what is a woman, it's XY chromosomes. That is it. And as I said the other day, I think I got that right, XY, well, you know what I'm talking about anyway. If you've got those chromosomes, then you're a woman. Sorry, you're a man, sorry, I'll take that back. You are a man, not a woman. And you can put a dress on and makeup on and high heels and say you're a woman, but it still doesn't make it so. And especially in this case, saying you're a woman and entering the women's category and maybe growing your hair long and putting it in a ponytail or whatever hell they do does not make you a woman, and it does not give you the right to get into a ring and punch a woman, a biological woman I'm talking about. It is ridiculous, and as I said at the start, you get what you pay for. And you know the funny thing is, in this day and age, we're so onto the domestic violence and violence of men against women, all this sort of stuff, and the same people that are on the soapboxes going on about this and yelling from the rooftops are the same ones saying, hey, you go girl, you go girl, you get in there and you show them, all these bigots, you know, who you are and what you are, and we love you. And you look at the vision of not just this fight, but there's been some other vision put up where you've seen these girls getting slammed. It's sickening. And look, even to this point, the Blues here, we do a respects round every year. We play a game, we wear orange, and it's against domestic violence. And I bet all the same ones that get up and support that, and I do, I financially donate and support the cause. How hypocritical would it be for a lot of those people that saying in this instance, oh, isn't that great? Look at her go. She stood up against the bigots out there and she's her own person and she's got in there and look what she's doing. Isn't that great? Well, it's not great. It is not great. Again, I'll say, if they want to become a woman, that's fine. Do what you got to do. But stay out of female sports. It is absolutely ridiculous. And one thing I will say is that I'm so glad that a lot of the sporting world, not just the boxing world, have stood up to this on their social media accounts and said this is not right. Full props to, yesterday I saw George Kambosos. Big fan of George anyway, now I'm a bigger fan. Well done, George. Lucas Big Daddy Brown. Lucas, we love you, brother. Loves your attitude as a fighter. You seem like a really good bloke. I didn't actually meet him, but always loved his style. Didn't take himself too seriously unless he was in the ring, of course, and just a good guy outside the ring. I've heard nothing but good things about Lucas Big Daddy Brown, and what he said yesterday was spot on. So good on you, Lucas. I did see Jeff Finnick, of course, was vocal earlier in the week, but you know where I'm going. And it was even good to see, I saw Martina Navratilova come out as well. So the more the merrier. And we have to stop this whole thing about upsetting feelings and maybe the possibility of being cancelled and all this sort of bullshit. It's time to make a stand against things that just aren't right. And the thing is, at the Olympic Games, if these two want to fight in whatever class they want to fight at, men or as women, let them fight each other. If that's what you really want to do and they want to do that, fight each other. I'm not sure what the weight difference is. I don't care. Because it can't be any more unfair than what we're getting at the moment. And look, I will say on the flip side as well, there has actually been a little bit of pushback from the boxing community, highlighting the fact that this Algerian in particular has had over 40 odd fights as a professional, and saying, well, what's the go? You know, what's the big deal? And I can't believe that people in the boxing fraternity would actually say that. The thing is, though, I would say the boxing pages that are actually commenting on this and saying, what's the big deal? She's had 40-something fights as a pro, and she has lost fights to women in the pros. These peanuts obviously run the boxing pages behind their little computer screen in the mum's basement. They've never actually been in the ring. Because I can tell you, I've sparred women before, and some of them go really, really well. Don't get me wrong; they'll give as good as they get. But the difference in the size and strength and power, all that sort of stuff, it is just too much. No matter how good you are, and these men. Just like, and not just men, not just boxing I'm talking about, but I know it's been a big thing in the States with the swimming teams and athletics and all that sort of stuff. You know, what's the big deal? Well, there's a massive deal. Men are just built different. We're just built different, and I don't know, I'm probably rambling on a little bit here, but I saw it and I thought, well, the IOC, you should be ashamed of yourself for allowing this. IEBA will be sitting back saying, we told you so. It's just not good. Anyway, we'll move on. Two Aussies were in action last night. Both were defeated. I'll just bring up the results here as we go. Not overly prepared this morning, a little bit worked up. Oops, sorry, I haven't got it there. Where are we? We actually have got Teramona in action tonight. I know that he's on. Well, actually, it's at 1:54 in the AM, so tomorrow morning. But last night, Marisa Williamson-Pohlmann lost to Anna Lucia Hamari of Hungary 5-0, and ironically enough, Hamori, I think it is, or Hamari, is fighting, I think, the Algerian next. In the other fight, Monique Sarashi lost 5-0 to Ingrid Lorena Valencia Victoria 5-0. So I think that's 11 boxers that are now fought. I think it's only the young girl, Tina Rahimi, I think her name is, the only one that hasn't fought yet. I think she's up tomorrow night. And as I said, Teramona is on tonight against the world and Olympic champion. So a big test for him, but let's hope he can bring it home. But so that's, look, I know it's probably been just talking about this situation today, but I think it needs to be said. I think more and more people have to stand up and say, to hell with your feelings and your agendas and all this bullshit. We all need to stand up, make a stand and say this is not right and we will not support it. The athletes and countries and officials or whatever it might be have to also make a stand and not tolerate this, and even boycott, forfeit, whatever you might be, because this is what it's going to have to take in boxing. This is not track and field. This is not swimming, where, you know, if a female comes up against a male, and not that it's right, by the way, either, but, you know, they swim past her and that's all there is. In combat sports, these women are getting hurt by males. There's a big difference. But having said that, again, I don't care whether it's swimming, athletics, fencing, I don't give a shit what it is. Men should not be competing as females in any form of sport. So maybe the answer is to create a different games for them to compete. Maybe they could do that. I don't know. But either way, They either compete as men, and I don't think I would care if they were dressed as women still competing as men, because biologically they're men and they're wearing a costume. So anyway, that's my 2 cents. I know there'll be a few people out there that will disagree, and at this stage, you know what, I really couldn't care less. Couldn't give a shit. You know, I think for too long there's been too many people, me included, who have their thoughts but are too scared to say it for fear of cancellation and whatever. I mean, politically that might be the case, but in this instance, stand up for the women. You know, in this day and age, it's again the ironic thing is, you know, we're after more women's rights and equality and all this sort of stuff. How is this equal? How is this right? We're allowing women to be bashed by men on national TV, and we applaud them and stick up for them. So, and I suppose in some respects, when you think about it, these men/women, whatever they are, should maybe even have the morals to say, I just don't think it'd be right to compete in these games against women. And the other thing I will just quickly say too, I touched on before about, well, you know, people sticking up for the fighters because they have fought pro as women, all that sort of stuff. They're pros. These are amateur girls, young amateur girls. A little bit different to fighting seasoned professionals. Anyway, that's my 2 cents. Again, I know I've waffled on a fair bit today. Apologies about that. Hope you have a ripper day. Hope the Mighty Blues get up tomorrow night. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Thanks, guys.